Good afternoon, students, and welcome to lesson 6. In our previous lesson, we've talked about eggs, we talked about fish. All these things are food commodities. Now, we are coming to learn how to plan meal around this. Therefore, our topic for today's discussion is meal planning. Meal planning. But we are going to study the basic terms that are used in meal planning. So by the end of today's discussion, you should be able to explain basic terms associated with meal planning, also state reasons for planning meals, and finally explain factors to consider in meal planning. The first term to be considered, but before then, as a home manager or a homemaker, for you to be a successful homemaker, there are some basic points or hints you have to keep at the back of your mind so that you be successful in all your doings. And these goals are: 1. Provide food nutrients to meet the needs of each family member. Meaning that as a home manager or homemaker, it is advisable or important for you to consider what the nutritional needs of every member in the family. You have all kinds or categories of what people in the family. Therefore, it is advisable whenever you are planning meals, you consider the nutritional needs of the family members. Also, use planned spending to make meal fit into the family budget. Meaning that you being the home manager, you must plan within your income so that you'll be able to cater for the needs of the family. The amount will end before you complain of shortage of money. Therefore, it is acceptable or appropriate for you to have a spending plan, a budget, so that whatever you are going to prepare for the family, you'll be able to budget and know the amount of money to spend. Also, prepare satisfying meals that look and taste good. The fact that you are the home manager and you can put all kinds of materials together to make meal, it doesn't mean that it should not be satisfying. If the meal is not satisfying, people will not enjoy it. Therefore, you cook and people will be dodging lunch or breakfast or supper because they know that the meal is one way, monotonous. It has nothing to offer. It is not inviting. It is not satisfying, or the taste is not good or to their satisfaction. Therefore, people will be dodging your breakfast, supper, or lunch. And we are also saying that you should control the use of time and energy involved in meal preparation. Control the use of time and energy involved in meal preparation. A situation where a home manager or homemaker will spread all his things about. The water is at the back of the house, firewood is somewhere, and you'll be moving up and down. So you have to control the use of time and energy so that you will not be exhausted by the end of food preparation. And also you conserve time and energy. So these are the goals that is appropriate or important, or the hint for every home manager to keep at the back of his mind. Now, let us look at the first term that's supposed to be considered in meal planning. Our first term, or basic term, in meal planning can be referred to as dish. Formerly we say food, but now as we are advancing, the names changes. So instead of food, we are saying dish. So whenever we talk about dish, we are referring to a prepared item that is being served on a plate or in a bowl. So if I say dish, I'm referring to a prepared item. So cake is a prepared item. Brody and pesi is prepared item. Any other material is a prepared item. So we refer to it as dish. So you can be asked to prepare a snack dish. You can be asked to prepare breakfast dish. And in our previous lesson, we said that no substance can be called food unless it contains at least one nutrient. So whatever you are preparing as a prepared item to be served on a plate or in a bowl must contain at least one of the nutrients. So whenever we talk about dish, we are saying that it's a prepared item that is being served on a plate or in a bowl. Then, the next one is side dish. Side dish. Now that we know what a dish is, if I may ask, what do we mean by side dish? When we talk about side dish, we are saying that a dish that is subordinate to the main meal. A dish that is subordinate to the main meal. So in absence of that one, the main meal can still function. For instance, when we prepare waakye, people try to adore it. So they add spaghetti a little, kelewole a little, and all those material. All those things are subordinate. Without it, you can still take your waakye and take it properly. So we are referring to all those kind of dishes as a side dish. So that is the second term in a meal planning or meal planning. Then our next basic term to be considered is courses. Courses. This time when I talk about courses, I'm not referring to the program you are offering. So as I was saying, when we talk about the courses, I'm not referring to the program that we are offering, but we are considering how the meal is being divided up. So if you sit at a sitting and you've been served, you finish, declare that one, the next one comes, declare it. So we are referring to that one as courses. For instance, it may be a dinner party where an appetizer will be prepared, or first course will be prepared, second course, then third course. When I talk about the first course, I'm talking about the appetizer. What will stimulate your system so that you'll be able to eat. So that one alone, we refer to it as first course. So it's been taken at a sitting. So after the first course is being taken, the main meal is being served, which is the protein aspect and the carbohydrate aspect, or the main dish and the accompaniment. Then after you finish that one, it will also be taken off. Then the third course comes in, which is what we refer to as sweet after meal or dessert. So by the end of the session, 3 kinds of dishes will be served. So we refer to these divisions as courses. I hope I'm clear. So we are saying that when we talk about the courses, we are saying that how a meal is being divided up at a sitting. So that's our second basic terms in meal planning. The next one is meal. 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 So it's the prepared or collection of prepared dishes. So when we talk about meal, it's a collection of prepared dishes. So we have the starter over there, which comprises of all kinds of things. We have the main meal before the other one. So when we talk about meal, we are referring to collections of prepared items. Then menu. When we talk about menu, what do we mean? During your practical session, we said each individual should have a menu board, but it doesn't bother any of you to consider what is meant by menu. When we talk about menu, sometimes you do go to restaurants, then the waiter will bring a list of items, then you look through, and the one you prefer, you select. This is what we are referring to as menu. So it's a list of prepared dishes with the price for a client or a customer. So this menu can be prepared yearly, monthly, or weekly. So when you get to a local chop bar, it is mounted over the fufuo ne aponche kraka. That is the menu over there. in some advanced hotels or restaurants or institutions, each day with its menu. So whenever we talk about menu, we are referring to a list of prepared dishes or items for a client or a customer. Then, main dish. Main dish is like I've already explained it, but let me talk about it again. When we talk about main dish, we are referring to the protein aspects of the dish. The protein aspect of the dish. That is what we refer to as main dish. So, if somebody is sick or a convalescent or invalid, you realize that at a hospital, the person is being forced, if you cannot take the fufu in addition to the light soup, you've been forced at least to take the soup, because the soup contains all the essential nutrients that can repair and replace the worn out tissues. So the main dish is the protein aspect of a meal. Then we have main meal. Main meal. When we talk about the main meal, we are referring to the protein aspects and the carbohydrates. That is the main dish and the accompaniment. So when the two is being put together, we refer to it as main meal. So at a sitting, there's no way you'll be served only a punchy cracker without fufu. So once a punchy cracker is being served, fufu will be attached to it. So in this case, these two together is being referred to as main meal. Then we have accompaniments. Accompaniment, as I said already, accompaniment is the carbohydrate aspect of the meal. It's the carbohydrate aspect of the meal. And we also have one pot dish. One pot dish, as the name suggests, meaning both protein and the carbohydrate aspect is being cooked together in one pot. So we refer to it as one pot dish. We refer to it as one pot dish. Then we also, I've already talked about dish already. We also have snack or 11s. We have snack or 11s. In other books, they say 11s. When we talk about snack, it's in between meal. For instance, you've taken breakfast already before going to work, but lunch is not ready to be taken. Therefore, what you've taken or to sustain the system before the lunch should be ready is what we refer to as in between meal. So we use snack, or snack is being served as in between meal. And when we talk about the 11s or 11s, it's the dishes or food served between 10 to 11 o'clock. That's what we term as 11s or 11s. So snack is a nutritious dish that is being served or that is being taken in between meal, between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and supper. Anywhere it can be taken. Then desserts. Also, I spoke about it already. We are saying that it's the sweet aspect or the last course of a meal. It's a sweet dish that a person or a client take after eating to clear his or her throat. So it's a sweet dish. That's why we normally refer to it as sweet after meal. So ice cream can serve that purpose. Fruits can also serve that purpose. Bread and butter pudding can also serve that purpose. Caramel, custard, and so forth and so forth. All these things can be used or taken as dessert. Then we have a 2-course meal. A 2-course meal, which I've already explained. And when we talk about the 2-course meal, it's either being the starter, which is the appetizer, and the main meal, or the main meal and desserts. So whenever you are at a sitting, whatever you take, either you take the palm nut soup and fufu first, and after that you take your fruit or ice cream, it's a 2-course meal. If you take the starter first, which is aponchi cracker or pepper soup, before taking your mashed yam with palava sauce, it's also what? 2-course meal. So either you take the appetizer first before the main meal, or the main meal before the dessert is referred to as what? 2-course meal. Then we also have 3-course meal. The 3-course meal involves the appetizer, the main meal, and the desserts. So in other way, you can also add coffee to it to make it what? 4-course. The coffee or the tea is to what? The purpose is to wash down what you have taken. So the 3-course meal it comprises of what? The appetizer or the introductory dish or the starter, the main meal, and the dessert. This made up what? 3-course meal. Okay, finally, a balanced meal. When we talk about a balanced meal, we are referring to a dish that provides all the essential qualities, such as the texture, the flavor, the color. So when we talk about balanced meal, it means the cook or the home manager employ the principle and elements of our design, meaning that it has observed the dominant, the contrast of the color, the smoothness or the roughness, and all these things come to play. Then we refer to it as what? Balanced meal. So the meal is not what? One way, soft throughout. So it should be soft, rough, and gritty, and whatever, crunchy, or all these things have to what? Come to play. The color either what? Orange, brown, white, and so forth and so on. So it shouldn't be what? One way. So this afternoon, we've been able to talk about the basic terms used in meal planning. We also talked about the goals in meal planning. And the basic terms, we talk about dish, side dish, courses, meal, menu, main dish, main meal, accompaniments, 1-pot dish, snack or 11th, desserts, a 2-course meal, a 3-course meal, and a balanced meal. So, I believe it is okay for now. Our next meeting, I would like you to be able to read about factors to consider in meal planning and the reason behind meal planning. I'll be available online. So any bothering issue or question can be mailed. I'll be available to attend to you. Good afternoon.